folks, and welcome to Great Chesterford Junction Royal Railway. And today we're getting into building the Dapol 60-foot corridor coach kit. It's a Stanier, and so we'll have a look at that out in the workshop and see how it goes together. Now, as we look at the parts here, we've got an insert, which is all the seats in the corridor, etc. We've got a coach body, which is quite good, nicely painted there and with numbers on it. However, the back of it, the ends of the coach, I would like to paint black. I think probably a matte black, if you can see those. Now the chassis, or the frame, clips into the bottom of the coach body with these tabs that we have here, and unfortunately, if you look at the end of it, you can see, if I do it there on the overhead, it's twisted. So what I'm hoping is that the coach body will bring that up. It doesn't take much to bring it back to square. I'm hoping the coach body will bring that back up. And of course we've got the coach roof here with some glazing as well. So yeah, all the parts are there, and I guess it's ready to start putting it together. Now there's some things that I'll want to do first before actually assembling the coach, and you know, that involves painting. So painting the ends of the coach for a start is much easier with the things not assembled. Also the roof, I'm not real keen on this grey colour. I'd like to do a darker grey and maybe even weather it a bit, but also there's roof ventilators to go on, so we'll have to do all that first. The instructions suggest that it's best to remove these from the sprue, put them in the top of the roof and glue them from underneath. It gives a much neater job, so we'll start doing that. Okay, so what we have to do is get a needle file and just open out the hole a little bit and just make it a bit easier for the vent tab to be pushed in there. So I'll do the one next to it as well, so we'll just see how we go with that. I don't think it has to be too much. And we'll get another vent and just snip it off and see if that will push in, which it does. That's better. I'm using some plastic magic to stick the vents on. I've used this in the past and it's been rather good actually. It's just got a little brush that dips into the glue, and you can just it sets in quite a short time. So if you just turn the piece over and brush on some glue onto the tab where it comes through the roof, and that will do the job. So I'll do this one as well. I'm just holding it with my finger off my other hand, just getting plenty of glue on there, and we might as well do that one as well, and then we'll carry on putting some more in. Well, that's the roof ventilators done. That's a bit of a fiddly job, and is, you know, you've got to look along them to try and line them up as well properly. But yeah, it's all got to be painted. So the next stage now is moving on to this floor or chassis. What happens with this is that Dapol supplies a nylon pin that goes through the bogie and then into the bottom of the floor here. And what this does in effect when the coach is running, because these are ex-airfix and mainline, actually this one is mainline. It says it underneath there, I don't know whether you can see that, I'll just bring it a bit closer. It says mainline underneath there. So this was mainline come airfix, and then Dapol's got the whole lot of it. So yeah, so what happens is the nylon pin goes through this hole and keeps the bogie on the chassis, and the nylon pin is what creates what I call the airfix wobble. So to overcome that, what I do is put a 3mm machine bolt through here, and then that basically here eliminates half the wobble because the bolt becomes rigid. And then all we do on the bottom here is add the bogie with a flat washer and a locking nut, and that should pretty much eliminate any wobble in the chassis at all. So we'll have a look at putting the bolt in. Now here is the machine bolt, which is a 3mm bolt, and they're available in Australia here from Jayco, which is an electronics supplier, and that is then fitted into the chassis here from the top, and it's a push fit, and you'll see from this one here that it's a very tight fit, so it has to be pushed in firmly, and then when it's projecting from the underneath of the chassis, you need to check that it's vertical in two planes across the chassis and along the chassis. With the camera here it looks like it's off at an angle, but it's actually set square. So yeah, and once it's set into the chassis, probably a drop of super glue in there would be a good idea as well. Right folks, the coach roof and the end of the coach has been painted, and I've used these Humbrol paints. It's for the ends of the coach I've used Humbrol Matte 33, and for the coach roof I've used Humbrol Matte 27. Yes, the end of the coach has come up fairly well. It's a nice matte black, as you can see, and that was done with an airbrush. The coach roof again is that much darker grey than what it was originally. You can just, there's remnants of the old colour underneath there. So yeah, so that's done. We are pretty much ready for assembly now. Right, now that we're ready for assembly, we have to work out the orientation of the parts in relation to each other, because it is important they will only go one way. So in this case, I mean, the instructions say to have this slot facing you, but if you look at how it lines up, if you can just see that, I don't know whether you can see that properly, but the tabs on the base there line up properly with that, whereas if we look at the insert for the coach, if we put that in, we can see that the dividing walls in the compartments line up with the central part of the outer wall of the coach. I don't know whether you can see that. Yes, you can. So it's important to sort of get that sort of fixed in your mind first before you start putting things together. I got one step ahead of myself there. The first thing I've got to do is put in the corridor connections. So just slip those into the body, one at either end, just like that. So that's that. And now we can put the floor in. try and snap that in. Right. Yes, that's all in. Okay. Now the next stage is we have a weight for the coach, so that can go in to the recess in the floor here. That just slots in there quite easily. I think that'll be okay. I'm tempted to sort of, I suppose it'll be held down by the rest of the inserts and everything that go in there. So now we'll take the coach interior and place that in. Now that sits around the tabs from that floor. So everything at the moment is still loose in there. So it's relying now on the glazing to go in, and that'll lock it all together. Now we have the glazing to go in, and it's important to sort of make sure you have the right one. They're both different, because you'll notice on the sides of the coaches that you've got these two end doors here, but you've also got this other panel here in this section here, and yeah, the two bits of glazing are actually different, so you've got to pick the right one for the right side, and of course it's flush fit, so it needs to be pushed down, and it's very difficult to see on this because it's very light, but there are little holes here for those tabs that came through the floor, so everything's got to lock in together. So it's just a matter of, first of all, finding the correct piece of glazing, and then it has to be slid down into the body, and it's going to be fiddly. Because we've got to try and hold it all together and press it together at the same time. And lock it in. Very tricky. Now the other thing we've got to do is, once we've got that locked in, which I think it is, we've now got to get a flat screwdriver and actually push the glazing into the recesses for the windows. So that's a bit tricky as well. So I've got my screwdriver, and what we'll do is we'll start at one end and just try and push the glazing into the recess for it. Seems to be going in, and it needs to be in there. You need to be able to see what I'm doing, don't you? Push that in, you'll hear it click in, and we'll do the next one. I think that's already in, and this one, that's not in. Now it is. And this one is snapped in, and it's very hard actually. Okay, this end one up here is still sticking out a bit. I think that's got it. I'll give it a bit more of a push here. And you need to do this on a surface that's got no foreign objects on it, because you don't want to scratch the paint on the body. Yeah, it takes a bit to get it in. Once it's in, it's not going anywhere, I can tell you that. Could use a bit more just there, I think. Yes, it's a tight fit, folks, a very tight fit. Okay, well, I'll get on and do the other one, and then we'll come back when they're both in. Okay, now we're up to putting the roof on, and actually this has worked out quite well. The floor has, the twist in the floor has been sorted out, and this has surprisingly quite a good weight to it, and I haven't got the roof on yet. Now when it comes to the roof, again, the orientation of the roof is important, because it probably will fit either way, but you'll find that there'll be a bit of a clash with the corridor end there if it's around the wrong way. So essentially what you want is the roof vents over the top of the compartments, not the corridor. So that's the way it's supposed to sit on there. And so we'll just try and press fit that in place. There's some little tabs on the glazing that it's supposed to go on, and it's not going to be easy by the look of it. This could be a bit of fun, actually. That's one end in. Probably worked my way along, I think. That's on. And now we'll do this one. And this one, and the last one. The last one is in. And that's it. That's it. Ooh. It's a bit tricky, this snap fitting things together, but it actually works. And yeah, so it's quite a nice looking coach in the end. Yes, I think everything's fitting properly. Yeah, very good. So now we get to the bogies. Well, folks, I've got the wheels into the bogies, and I've checked the wheel flanges on my NMRA gauge, which is really good. So all the wheels are set to the correct gauge. So now we're up to putting the bogies into the coach. Now what we have here, folks, is a homemade jig. This is especially for coaches, and it's the way I set up the length of my magnetic couplings. And so what happens is that the coach will be placed in to the jig, and then the buffers will be pushed up hard against these two pink buffer stops, if you like, and when the coupling is in there, the magnet is attracted to this central metal piece, and when the magnet and the magnet's the coupling rod is pulled taut, that will be the correct distance and the correct length for the coupling wire. Okay, so what we do is the coupling's actually in the bogey at the moment, so we'll just slide that up, and you can hear the magnet made contact with the piece of metal there. The buffers are hard pressed up against the pink buffer stops, so what I need to do now is pull the wire back, the copper wire, and while I'm doing that I need to find out exactly where I need to cut the wire, and I think it is about here. Right, now I should be able to take the bogey off and glue that coupling rod in place. Right, here we have our bogey complete. Coupling rod is glued in. It's ready to be fitted to the coach, I suppose. So that'll be the next stage, once I've got the other one made up as well, and then we'll do some testing. Okay, as you can see, I've got the bogies on, and I've put some thread locker on the nuts. That's that red colouring in the centre there. You can see it probably better from above, and that'll probably take about 24 hours to set properly, but I've just given it a quick run on the track and everything's good, so I might just try it with I'll put it in a rake of coaches, I suppose, and see how it goes. Right folks, I've got a rake of 5 coaches here, pulled by diesel, and they all have the magnetic couplings fitted to them, as has the new coach here right in the middle there next to the shed. So I'll add that into the rake and we'll just give it a test and see how it goes. So it's the second coach in the rake here. Seems to be going okay. I've still got to add some wires across the buffers so that it can be pushed as well as pulled. But yeah, that seems to be fine. Now I've set it for the main line so I can get a bit of speed up, and I just want to make sure we haven't got the old air fix wobble. Seems pretty good. Probably need to get down at platform level to check that. Well, that was an interesting build. There's always some sort of little problem to overcome with most things, but eventually it got put together. So there you go. Anyway folks, thanks for being with us, and we'll see you next time. Cheers. Gormley.